So here's a second example how to get from a rectangular graph to a polar graph. And the function that I want to look at in this video is r is equal to 3 cosine 2 theta. This is a little more difficult than the one that I described in the previous video. So when you look at this function, you know that the amplitude is 3 and the period is 2 pi over 2, so the period is pi. The first thing I will do is graph the function in the r theta coordinate system. Now, the next step is to draw a polar coordinate system, and to make things a little more, a little easier to see, I did 2 units as one. So the outer widest circle is 3 units away from the pole. So now when you look at this 3 here, that is the coordinate 0, 3. That has to go on 0, 3 here. And then the radius decreases until pi over 4. So that part is relatively easy to draw. I will put the pi over 4 line in there, and then I can draw that little piece of my graph. Now between pi over 4 and pi over 2, the radius is negative. So that means it cannot be in this area here. It must be in the opposite. So it must be in this area. Because remember, negative radius means jump the pole. So that is the part that is created by this part of the xy coordinate system. You go from pi over 4 to pi over 2, and your radius goes from 0 to 3. It cannot be here, it jumped the pole, so I'm over here. The next part is from, where were we? Pi over 2 to 3 pi over 2. Again, the radii are negative. So that means we cannot be in this part of the quadrant, but we are on the opposite side. And I put little arrows on to show you which way, so to speak, the curve is created. And now we are between 3 pi over 4 and pi. Now it gets easier because the radii are positive. So that fourth part is going to be here where it belongs, where we know between 3 pi over 4 and pi is this part of the quadrant. So this is the curve. And then we go from pi to here to 5 pi over 4. And that's this piece. And then comes piece 6. And you can see that it repeats itself again. So that is the branch that is created by 6. That is the branch that is created by 7. And that is the branch that is created by 8. Now, very often, especially on questions, quiz and test, I will ask you in which order did the pedals occur. And if you follow this curve, you can see that it happens in the order of the red numbers. I hope this helps.